Coming up tonight, just when you think we've escaped the clutches of Bond, he's back. We're talking Bond 25 in an all updates episode where we're continuing Bond a little bit, but then we're going to move on, update you on the movie league and a few other things. It's going to be a lot of fun, and all updates episode starts right now. This is Up for Debate, episode number 148, recorded May 30th, 2019. Follow-ups, updates, and the latest news. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Up for Debate. I am Sean Jennings, joined as always by the by the man who's always on the latest news. He's always on top of it.
I try to be. I guess this is the update. Up for updates.
Up for date. Yeah.
Up for updates. We're always up for dates. Dates are great. I prefer figs, but dates are also pretty solid.
I prefer going out, getting some drinks, maybe seeing a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Good dates.
And then having some dates.
Having dates on your dates.
Having dates on your date.
Dates squared.
Indeed. Yeah. So we're gonna update a couple of things. This is a smorgasbord of updates today.
Yeah, and we're definitely starting with a Bond cooldown, I think is how I would describe it. Matt, I did the math, so you didn't have to. We did 25 technically Bond movies. It took us 3 months, and we spoke for over 16 hours.
Wow.
On those movies. It's insane.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time on Bond movies.
We broke our record for longest episode 3 consecutive weeks.
We had a lot to say. This is one of I'll admit it freely on this program. This is one of the few times where I took a lot of very diligent notes about a specific topic, and we had a lot of things to discuss, a lot of talking points. I know it's a lot of time, but I do highly recommend, if you missed any of those episodes, to go back and have a listen to any of our 5 episodes. How many did it come out to?
I think it was 8.
6? 8. Okay. Any of those 8 episodes on James Bond and the James Bond films. I thought they were really good. I thought they were some of the best things we've ever done. Not just in this podcast, but in our lives.
Probably the best things we'll ever do. And then we do have to give a big thank you to Colby, who joined us for 2 of those episodes. He was a treat to have on and participating with us. And it was a lot of fun. We'll certainly do more presents series in the future for sure. I think that's a working franchise for us. But Matt, we didn't talk about what's next for Bond.
What is next for Bond?
Bond 25, the next film in the franchise.
That's what's next, yeah.
It's coming. Let's break down what we know about Bond 25. Starting with, this is officially Daniel Craig's last outing as Bond. He's confirmed. There was even a question if he'd even come back for this movie, but he decided to play Bond one more time, saying for certain it will be his last time playing the character.
Yeah. Did he give a specific quote? But didn't he say something about he would rather be cut apart by shards of glass than do another Bond movie or something like that?
Yeah, and then later he said playing 007 was the best job in the world. So I think it's one of those things, and we'll talk about this a little later, but Daniel Craig is notorious for getting injured. Every movie he shot as Bond, he's gotten injured in some way. So it's not an easy movie. These aren't easy movies to make. So I can imagine right after shooting them, you're probably tired of doing it.
No, and actually that's a pretty diligent point that is made in the book that I've been reading as the source material, the Some Kind of Hero, the story of 007. Nearly every actor in the book has some kind of like injury story or hardship that they face while playing it. I think Roger Moore, in an interview, said basically that this is an extremely taxing job. He didn't know if he was going to come back after The Spy Who Loved Me, because he said it's just so physically taxing. You have to do, even if you're not doing the majority of your own stunts, even if you have a stunt person, you're still, you have to be on set, on call, constantly traveling to various exotic locations. And you're not going there to lounge around on a beach, like you're going there to film. And once Bond Mania took off, you had droves of people that were interrupting your shoots to try to get a picture with you, or autograph, whatever. Yeah, they're physically taxing job. It's a physically taxing job to be Bond. It's tough to be Bond.
Yeah, well, I guess now's a good time to bring up that Daniel Craig did sustain an injury shooting Bond 25 back in May while performing a stunt in Jamaica. He had to undergo minor ankle surgery. It is not expected to delay the release of the film when it does come out.
Yeah. That'll be one of those fun things that we can point to and be like, oh, that was the scene. Well, when it comes out, we can be like, that's where you hurt his ankle.
That's the famous thing with the last Mission Impossible film, where I think was it his ankle? That Tom Cruise shattered his ankle in a scene, and that's the shot they used in the movie.
Yeah,
of him actually smashing his leg.
It happens a fair amount in movies. One of the most famous examples in Django Unchained, right, with DiCaprio, and he slams his fist on the table and unintentionally splits his hand open on a piece of glass or something, and he rubs the blood on the actress that's in the movie. I forgot her name, but she plays Brunhilde. And it's his actual blood that he's smearing all over her face. It was one of those gross accidents that happens that they leave them in the movies. They leave them in the shot.
Yep.
Authentic, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if you have the footage, might as well use it, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to find out if when they were filming World Is Not Enough, if Brosnan actually hurt his arm filming that. When he falls off the parachute in the opening sequence.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a real injury. It looked very realistic, at least.
And they wrote it into the movie.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it didn't make sense in the movie, so
exactly. That's exactly it. It really didn't play a role otherwise. So I'm actually pretty confident now that it was probably a real injury that he sustained. And they were like, "How are we going to fit?" Okay, well,
he can't be in an arm sling the whole movie.
Yeah. It played no matter into the plot. It didn't matter at all, and it was just merely referenced. And I think he was actually pretty much fine for 90% of the movie. Yeah. It was just the beginning. So
and I referenced this plenty in the Present series, but nothing bumps me out more than a broken Bond. I like to see Bond kicking ass, not being old and beat up.
Yeah,
it bumps me out about Craig a little bit because he tends to lean in that direction sometimes. But especially in the first half of Skyfall. Anyway, Bond 25, we do know a little bit about the plot. Here's the synopsis, Matt. Bond has left active service and is enjoying a tranquil life in Jamaica. His peace is short-lived when his old friend Felix Leiter from the CIA turns up asking for help. The mission turns out to be far more treacherous than expected, leading Bond onto a trail of a mysterious villain armed with a dangerous new technology. And that's all we know.
That's all we know. This would have been a perfect time for Spectre. Spectre could... Well, here's what I think. Here are my thoughts.
Okay.
So they covered Spectre in the last episode, or last movie, so we know it's not, most likely not going to be him again. But, I mean, you probably see where I'm going with this. It's not that hard to parse out. You've got Jamaica. You've got a scientist. You've got a supervillain, a mysterious supervillain. I think this is a Dr. No reboot.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea, but I agree with you. It's plausible, but what a garbage idea.
I think that it's a pretty good idea. I think it's an interesting. I wouldn't say good, but it's interesting. You can give me that. It's an interesting idea.
No, it's not. We don't have to reboot everything, Matt. No, don't.
Sean, everybody's out of ideas. Nobody has creative ideas anymore. We're done with ideas.
But I'd rather have a shitty original idea than a shitty reboot.
Well, I'll say that I thought that the Casino Royale reboot, the reboot of the franchise, was excellent. I thought it was one of the best reboots.
I agree, but that's the whole. But also, the reboot of Spectre was a disaster.
Okay. Okay.
You know, again, I think Spectre would have been a better movie if it wasn't Blofeld.
But it was just a reboot of a character, though.
But that's what I'm saying. So don't
It
do
wasn't
that
a
with
reboot of
Doctor
an
No.
entire
I don't
film.
really care if it's a similar plot to Doctor No because we famously saw that. Well, I guess Never Say Never Again isn't really canon, but we saw that and Thunderball essentially have the same plot, and they are two different movies. I don't mind if it's Doctor No-esque in its structure. You cannot call the villain Doctor No. You can't. I'm sorry.
How about Dr. Yes?
That okay? If it was like Mr. Yes, I would be like, okay, that's actually
Professor
funny.
Yes.
That sounds like a Clue
Different
character.
title. It does. But yeah, the reason I thought Spectre didn't work was that it was a reboot of a character with a totally original plot that was bad. The plot that they rebooted was a bad plot. Didn't make a lot of sense. I would argue that Spectre himself was barely really featured in the movie. He was just he was really like they set it up to be like this big reveal that nobody saw coming. But everybody really saw it coming. If you have more than 3 brain cells, you saw it coming. It was there in Star Trek Into Darkness, where everybody's all like, "Ooh, you don't know who this guy is. You don't know who this guy," and everybody already knows that it's Khan. But I think that I mean, not saying if it's bad or good yet. I'll reserve judgment until the trailer comes out. We can kind of get a better look at it. But that's my prediction. I think they're rebooting Doctor No. Mm-hmm.
It's a solid prediction. I think it's just going to be interesting to me because the last 4 Daniel Craig movies all tied into each other. And it's going to be curious how they approach it in the 5th one. From the synopsis and what we know so far, it sounds like it's totally unrelated. Bond is retired and he's on vacation, and he just happens to stumble on some bad stuff, thanks to Felix. I'm just curious if they somehow if Vesper Lind somehow comes up again. God forbid we ever let her finally die. All of a sudden it's Quantum or it's Spectre or it's some nonsense from his past. I hope that's not the case. I genuinely would like to see and I guess Casino Royale was kind of this. I want to see a standalone Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
I don't think you're going to get one here, but I will say, I think that you may get your wish about Vesper Lind, because I think enough time has passed where a lot of people are going to watch this, and if Vesper was mentioned too much or too often, they would probably have amnesia.
Man,
How long has it been?
It's been like a decade.
Right. It's been a really long time since the last Bond. So I think that they're probably going to be like, who? What? So I think this will be more of a standalone. Vesper might be mentioned like once, loosely. She might be like Dr. Yes's former lover or something. I think that Dr. Yes / No will be part of the Quantum organization, though. Or / the Spectre organization.
I love that we disagree. I think the negative critical response to Spectre will lead the organization, because you also have to remember this is Daniel Craig's last movie, and they pretty much buttoned up all the loose ends in Spectre and in Skyfall to some degree. And the franchise now is the time to hit the reset button. You don't have to go back to that because you ended it. Spectre is dead. You killed Blofeld. Good job. I think this is the movie where they finally give it the reset, and they don't talk about anything that happened in the previous movies. That's my prediction.
Bond just has amnesia. He's on a beach.
No, but he's Bond.
Retired.
It's like the old movies, right? Roger Moore never talked about the things that happened in the movie before. Sean Connery. Oh, remember that time I went to Japan and pretended to be Asian? No, he doesn't bring up things that happened in the past. Oh, remember that time? Roger Moore, remember that time I went to friggin' space? No.
Shot lasers?
Yes, and all of a sudden, and then we just never have laser guns again.
Never has lasers again.
No. That's how it used to work, and I miss that. I miss the standalone movie, and I think they're finally going to do with this one. That's my prediction.
Okay. I think that.
But I love your prediction too. It wouldn't surprise me.
So my core prediction is that this is going to be a reboot of Dr. No. I don't think it'll tie in like closely with Spectre. Like it's not going to it won't be like a Quantum of Solace situation where it just picks up when the previous one ends. I think it will very much be its own thing. It'll very much be its own movie, but I think there might be traces, because it would be weird, because this would be the only Craig to not have any kind of trace to a previous film.
Casino Royale.
Besides Casino Royale, but that was the first one.
And that was a great one.
Couldn't really. It was arguably the best one.
We had no idea who Le Chiffre was. We had, we no idea who Vesper Lind was. Everything was fresh.
Here's what I think. I think they're gonna hold the Doctor No reveal till the end.
Oh God, don't do that.
I think it's gonna be the same situation where there's like some kind of rumors of like a horrible beast or something on an island, because most of the the true Bond, like the diehard Bond fans, will get it from the start and they'll be like, oh, it's Doctor No. But a lot of these new Bond fans will have no idea. So that's why I'm saying they can totally get away with a reboot.
Doctor No was 50 years ago.
Right.
Nobody wants this.
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't even think Bond fans.
It doesn't matter what they want.
Right.
It matters with the true Bond, like the devoted Bond fans will be like,
no.
Oh, wow. Remember that? They'll be interested. They'll be intrigued.
Yeah, remember how the hardcore Star Trek fans felt with the Khan reveal and Into Darkness? They loved it. They didn't.
They screwed it up in the trailer because they pretty much revealed that it was the trailers ruined it. It was like our pre-show conversation. How the trailers ruin everything these days.
That was a bad trailer. Yes,
the trailers of Into Darkness totally flubbed the reveal that Khan was in the movie. But I think it's just enough fan service where it's going to be like the devotees will be like, oh, okay, like this is cool. You got to remember that a lot of the true Bond fans are over the hill. Like, old, they're like old now. Like,
that's true. Young people do not care about James Bond.
For many of them, this might be like the last Bond movie they ever see. It's depressing to think about, but it might be. Like they'll remember this one and be like, oh, like Dr. No. It's like it's come full circle. Okay, and now I can go sweetly into that good night.
Hopefully not the character good night.
Yeah, not Dr. Goodnight.
No, nobody wants that. Matt, let's talk a little bit more about Bond 25. We do know a number of actors are returning. Ralph Fiennes,
yes,
is returning as M. Naomi Harris will return as Eve Moneypenny. Ben Whishaw as Q. And even Jeffrey Wright, yay, is back to play Felix Leiter. Hopefully he'll have something to do in this movie. We haven't seen him since Quantum of Solace. And interestingly enough, Léa Seydoux is back as Dr. Madeline Swan, who you remember as the love interest from Spectre. Now, we don't know quite how much involvement she'll have in the movie, whether she's killed off in the first 5 minutes or is in the whole thing, we don't know. Fun fact, Matt, it's the first time since 1963 a Bond girl has appeared in more than one movie. That would be Sylvia Trench, who appeared in Dr. No and its sequel, From Russia with Love.
Yes, right. Huh.
Also, in terms of casting, we know Rami Malek will be playing the villain, maybe Dr. No, who knows? All we know is he's described as I said, a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. We don't really know any more than that.
I'm so convinced now that it is Dr. No. You have no idea how convinced. Like, because in the book, Dr. No was actually Rami Malek. I believe is from India. I could be wrong. He might be from Pakistan. Is that region of the world? And the original Dr. No, the character in the book, I think was. Oh boy. Now that I think about it, he might have been Chinese. I thought he was from India.
No, he's very Asian.
Yeah, well, it's the original.
Oh, in the book, yeah.
Book, yeah. Anyway, I think that this kind of lends itself to possibly even more speculation / confirmation that this is in fact Dr. No. I gotta say, I'm pretty convinced now. I'm pretty convinced.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to disagree with you.
When is the movie set to come out?
The movie's set to come out April 2020.
Okay, so we've got a little bit less than a year.
Yes.
To speculate on that, but yeah, I would say that's my prediction. That's my prediction. I think everything has kind of fallen into place where you've got Jamaica, you've got Felix Leiter, you've got Bond trying to finally enjoy his retirement in Jamaica where Doctor No took place. It just seems like they're gonna make a Doctor No reboot, and it might be good. Who knows? Maybe it'll be really good. Maybe they won't screw it up like Into Darkness did by giving away everything in the trailer.
I, you
The
know,
big reveal at least. Like I think they'll be smart with it because they were very smart with Casino Royale. So
Matt, I'll give you a very quick bit. I know you're excited for this. A very quick bit of trivia.
okay.
Rami Malek won the Oscar last year for Bohemian Rhapsody. Can you name the other Oscar-winning Bond villains?
How many are there?
I think it's like 4 or 5.
Wow.
I'll check them off as we go through.
Putting me on the spot here.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
well, okay. So it's got to be Christoph Waltz.
Yep.
It's he's definitely an Oscar winner. It's got to be also Sean Bean.
Has Sean Bean won an Oscar?
I don't know.
I'm going to double check that. I don't think that's
He's
right.
probably won something.
I mean, he should
Oh,
have.
he's been in so many movies. I figured somewhere he'd get
Awards.
an Oscar.
Here we
Maybe
go.
not. I'm just trying to think of actors who've been in other things.
He won the Phoenix Film Critics Society Award
That's not
and
an
the
Oscar.
Online Film Critics Society Award. These don't sound real.
The Phoenix one sounds pretty cool though.
He won an International Emmy. I don't know what that is. And he was nominated for a People's Choice Award, but no, he's never won.
I heard
won an Oscar.
we've been nominated for an international Emmy.
It sounds fake enough to me.
We're gonna play that sound clip when we accept the award.
Yeah,
Sounds fake
a
enough
fake
to me.
award.
I'm out of guesses now. I don't know. Who else
I mean, at this point, you really just have to
be
think
hard
of
to think about.
the most famous people to play
Right.
a Bond villain.
Oh, who played Electra King in World Is Not Enough?
Sophie Murkow, who I definitely
No.
don't think. No.
I thought she was someone famous, more famous.
I will save us from
Yeah, look
this
it up.
pain. It was Christopher Walken,
Oh, how did I miss him?
and
Yes,
I'm
that was the
trying.
obvious one.
I'm trying to figure out if Christopher Lee ever won an Oscar.
Oh God, yes, he must have. What? I missed the two most obvious easily.
I don't know. Did he?
Damn. Wow, I can't believe I got
Here we go.
Christoph Waltz
Awards
and I
and
missed.
nomination. No, believe it or not, he's never won an Oscar. However, he did win the MTV Movie Award for Best Fight in Star Wars Episode II: Attack of the Clones,
That's tragic.
and he won a
That's
Teen
actually-
Choice Award for
that's-
Alice in Wonderland.
Might be the saddest thing I've heard all week,
Do you
Sean.
think- do you
That
think
Christopher Lee never won an Oscar?
Do you think he went to the Teen Choice Awards, or he just accepted it remotely?
I think he said what and threw the invitation out.
Oh, I think
He's incredible. I can't believe he never won an Oscar.
I agree.
Wow.
I agree. I believe those are the only actors who have
So
done it.
Christoph Waltz and
Someone may correct me. Mads Mikkelsen definitely hasn't won one, though he's great.
yeah, agree.
Yeah, so there you go.
I think
Anyway.
that Nick Nack should have won an Oscar.
Oh, yeah. Well, or at least an Emmy for on Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
Deplane. Okay. Let's see. Other things we know about Bond 25. Kerry Joji Fukunaga is in the director's seat. It was originally going to be Danny Boyle, who you may know from Trainspotting and Slumdog Millionaire, but he dropped out. Kerry directed Beasts of No Nation. He did the first season of True Detective and created the Jonah Hill, Emma Stone Netflix program Maniac. So he also has a writing credit on Bond 25, along with a couple other writers. Filming is already underway, and as I said, is set to be released in April 8th, 2020. It comes 5 years after Spectre, which came out in 2015. The biggest gap between two Bond movies since 95, between License to Kill and GoldenEye.
It's interesting that Craig is coming back for one more. I would have thought that with the time gap, this would be a good time to. But then again, that kind of lends more credence to the Doctor No theory that.
Does it? To me,
Yeah.
it just. I mean, you have to remember they got Sean Connery back for one more, and he was really done.
Yes. Well, they offered him lots of money.
Well, and I'm sure Daniel Craig was the same way.
Yeah.
Offer him a lot of money, and I'm sure they tried to make it an easy shoot on him as much as possible.
But like you said, no one cares about Bond anymore. So I think they could have easily changed a different. I don't know. Maybe that's hard to do. And they've also probably been filming for a while.
But, let me give you this little challenge. Can you name the? They don't have this adjusted. Oh, adjusted for inflation. Okay, adjusted for inflation, Matt. Can you name the top 5 grossing James Bond movies?
Oh, we're gonna play that game.
Yep.
I
mean, I'll tell you, if you don't adjust for inflation, it's Skyfall, Spectre, Quantum of Solace, and Casino Royale. All the recent ones.
Oh, that's pretty
Spectre
obvious,
grossed $200 million.
Yeah, but
and that movie was not good.
You have to also keep in mind, is that domestic or worldwide?
Domestic. Yeah, I can tell you worldwide, Skyfall did over $1 billion worldwide. Spectre did 880. So yeah, they're going to keep making
a different
these
time.
things.
Yeah, it's a different time from when they were made. Adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
Goldfinger.
That's number 2.
Okay.
That'd be about $600 million in today's dollars.
Right, that was the height of Bond mania.
Yeah, so the number 1 shouldn't surprise you.
Thunderball?
Thunderball.
Yeah,
yep.
Thunderball was the number 1. Okay.
And then number 3 is Skyfall.
Nice.
And then after that, You Only Live Twice and Moonraker. The lowest grossing adjusted for inflation is License to Kill.
Yeah, that's a shame because I thought that was one of the better ones. It just was. Timing is everything with these movies, Sean. Timing is everything.
Yep.
It just wasn't a time for Bond movies, and I don't think people were that excited about Dalton, and in the role. I don't think that Living Daylights really shattered people's minds. I think that people enjoyed it. I think it was an enjoyable film, but I think a lackluster, not performance by Dalton. Nothing wrong with that, but I think the other cast surrounding him left people wanting a bit.
Well, but it was that same thing we talked about when we did that movie, which was, those movies came out at a time when cinema was at its highest peak and was competing against a lot of similar movies. On the same weekend, License to Kill came out. It opened number 4. Ahead of it was Lethal Weapon 2, Batman, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Right. I mean, we're talking big movies.
Yeah, that whole decade. Yeah, I mean, you saw some incredible things. Arguably some of the best modern action films ever.
Certainly in terms of just simply making money.
Yeah.
I mean, the box office was flowing at this point. It was huge. And so I'm not surprised they didn't do well. The Bond name didn't mean as much if it didn't have Schwarzenegger or Stallone or, Mel Gibson or any of these big names in it. Timothy Dalton is nobody. And this was a time where it was dominated by names.
Yeah, the bar was set too high for Bond. But it is a shame because that was definitely one of the better action Bond films.
Yeah,
one of the better Bond films. Period.
I spoke my love of Timothy Dalton, so you don't have to convince me. All right, Matt. The only thing I'll mention about Bond 25 is Bond 25 obviously is not the name. It is a working title of the film. I don't know if they've explicitly said they will definitely change it, like 100%, but it's generally believed that it is just a working title. Any thoughts on what the name of this was? Is Bond 25 a good name?
Imagine if they don't change the title. Imagine if they just leave it Bond 25.
I mean, it's catchy.
Bond 25. Insert subtitle here.
Oh yeah, you definitely need the colon. Bond 25 : Bond's back.
Bond's back, we guess. I don't know. You can see it. I don't know. What do I think that they'll pick as a name? I'm trying for some reason. I'm thinking. I'm hard pursuing this Dr. No reboot theory. and I'm trying to look back into the original Doctor No film for like context clues.
Yep.
So, like, for example, what were some like little subtle things? Did it have a code? Did Doctor No's facility have like a code name or something? Or
Yeah, he was on an island. Crab Key?
I don't think that'll be it. I don't
Okay.
think Crab Key will be the. Matter of fact, I very much doubt that they'll even bring the name back. It'll be called something completely
Yeah, you're
different.
probably right.
Um, but the word key might feature in the title. You never know. It might be like Golden Key or something, or
So
Scarlet Key.
I'm
It's more like a
looking
Sherlock Holmes, but yeah.
I'm looking at Ian Fleming's novels and short stories. They've used pretty much all the names of the stuff he wrote.
Yeah.
There's a couple left that the property of a lady, the Hildebrand rarity. We talked about a few of these. I don't think they would use them.
No, they don't make good
But
movie titles.
let me pitch you some post-Fleming James Bond novel titles.
There were not Bond novels post Fleming.
Oh yeah, they've had a bunch of people write them. There've been
Really?
like well over a dozen.
Wow.
And then I think they're still
I
coming
got some
out.
summer reading to do.
Oh yeah, there's like let me see when the last one came out in May of 2017. So they're still writing them. And then
Wow.
they did a Young Bond novel series.
Damn. I mean, it's not surprising. I shouldn't be surprised because it's a fictional character. They do spin-off novels all the time. I was more surprised that they had acquired the rights to do that.
Well, that I don't. Oh, the book rights, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like those book rights would be under lock and key long after Fleming's
Well,
death.
I know, but whoever the Fleming family or
Yeah, you
whoever
pay
owns the
them enough
rights, I mean,
money.
they're making money.
Yeah.
No one's buying the old books. Maybe they are. I don't know. And I don't know if they have the movie rights to use any of these titles or anything. But here are a few of them. Icebreaker.
It doesn't seem like a good name for a movie that's set in Jamaica.
Okay. Nobody Lives Forever.
That sounds like a confusing title.
Well, it sounds a lot like. I always hated how they did Tomorrow Never Dies and Die Another Day.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need a Nobody Lives Forever. I think it just kind of sounds too. Oh, how about this? This has to be it. Win, lose, or die. That's kind of great.
That sounds like it would be like in the commercial for the video game. Win, lose, or die in Bond. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yep.
What was the original working title for Tomorrow Never Dies? Remember we talked about how there was a typo?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was not Tomorrow Never. It was supposed to be Tomorrow Never Wins or something like that.
Tomorrow. No, hang on. That's not right.
Tomorrow
Never Lies.
Yeah.
I just read it. It's
I
Tomorrow
don't know.
Never Lies.
We'll have to go back to the tape. Tomorrow Never Lies. Right.
Yes.
Okay. My Skype skipped at the exact moment, I think, when you said it. It's Tomorrow Never Lies. Okay.
Yep.
Imagine if they had screwed up on that in other Bond titles. Like, imagine if instead of The World Is Not Enough, The World Is Enough.
The World Is Enough. That actually could work, though.
The World is enough. I'm quite happy with The World. It's enough.
We've got Death Is Forever.
Death Is Forever.
High Time to Kill.
Which one?
High Time to Kill.
I don't like that title.
Oh, okay. I love some Trigger Mortis. Like rigor mortis?
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds hokey. That sounds like it would absolutely fit more. It would the later Roger Moore era of campy Bond.
Oh, how about see, now these are starting to sound like Goosebumps books because it's like heads, you die.
Yeah.
That is a very Goosebumps title.
Well, if you notice the Daniel Craig movies, besides Quantum of Solace and Casino Royale, I guess was 2, but they're very short. The titles are super short. Skyfall, Spectre.
Well, there is a James Bond book called Solo, but I think that'd be confusing.
Yeah, because of the Star Wars movie.
Oh, they already did that.
Yeah.
There's also one just called Cold.
Cold?
Cold, which is actually a society, the Children of Last Days.
Oh, so it's like a cult?
Yeah, I guess. Man, this
Wow.
Bond lore. See, Matt, now we have to go read all the books. We did the
Yeah.
movies.
I smell a new book club coming around. We're
Oh
never going to be
no,
done with Bond, Sean.
I feel
This is
sick.
now the Bond cast.
What a bad idea that would be. Oh my god, no more Bond ever again. So that's a
We're gonna
scoop
have to
on
start wearing
Bond.
tuxedos on our show.
I'm not gonna do that.
Gosh, I don't know. It's hard to guess titles, but my prediction is that it's going to be 1 or 2 words.
Yeah,
It's going to be like a quick
it's
little
catchy.
catchy thing.
Well, what's
'cause
the
no one
what's
has
the long on Her
attention
Majesty's
span.
Secret Service is the longest title,
Yes, for sure.
and then
For sure.
by letters is Doctor No the shortest?
Yeah, has to be. Nothing else can be shorter
No.
than that.
No.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll definitely go see
Yeah.
Bond 25 and talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
We'll have to try and make a point to maybe see it together.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think that would be cool. So we'll I already put it on the calendar. So
Excellent. Speaking of
Fun.
movies, Matt,
yep.
we're gonna
Speaking of movies,
we're gonna wrap up Bond officially. It's done. No more Bond. Shut it
I
down.
don't know about that.
You know, never say never again.
Never say never again.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have to talk about the movie league now, Matt. This is a fun fact I didn't know until I was prepping for this episode. Do you know the last non-Bond episode we did? It was the movie draft.
It's been so long ago. Was it really the movie draft?
That's all we've done is Bond since the movie draft. And so we haven't had a chance to update anyone on how the players are doing and how the movies are doing. So let's go ahead and dive in, and we'll do a little analysis and talk about what we think is going at the box office and what we expect for the rest of the summer. I guess I'll just start by talking about how the teams are doing, and then we can get into the individual movies. We're about halfway through the summer at this point. In last place, Movie Ball, Dan and Sarah, they've got just $64 million, but they have 2 big movies left, Men in Black International and Toy Story 4. Above them, the Mac Daddies, Kaylee and Brian, they have $174 million, and they have a big movie left, The Lion King. Above them, Colby and Emily, 191, and they have some big movies left as well, Spider-Man Far From Home. Above them, in third place, Mystery Team, James and Matt, $334 million. They have a lot of movies left. I would argue none of them are particularly big. Maybe Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's getting a lot of buzz, so they're kind of a question mark. In second place, we go a big jump, $646 million. It's the Gooper Troopers, Mike and Laura. They've pretty much released most of their big movies at this point. Secret Life of Pets 2 still remains, question mark on how that'll do. And in number 1, Matt, you'll like to hear this, with $837 million, it's Heather Strikes Back. Heather and Matt, their movies are basically done at this point, just Dark Phoenix left, all of their money essentially coming from Avengers Endgame in first right now. Early thoughts, Matt?
Yeah. Sean, I think we've got this. I'd like to say we're probably approaching the end game of this tournament, this contest. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident. I think our strategy has paid off. And we'll just see. We'll just see how it goes from here on out. I've spoken to Heather. She's very excited about our results. Obviously, very impressive. And we'll see. We'll just go ahead and see how the rest of this plays out. You know, I going in, I thought that Avengers was going to be wildly successful, and it sure has.
Record-breaking successful.
I think as the more that we do these things, the more you kind of see patterns start to emerge, and it kind of informs the picks that you make. So we'll have to see. We'll keep watching it.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. I think we should kind of go through some of the highlights of the movies we've done so far. We've already gotten through 16 of our 30 movies are logged in the sheet here. Starting with Captain Marvel, which I give a lot of credit to Gooper Troopers at $31. That's actually a pretty good bargain for a $425 million movie. Really, that movie should have gone closer to the $40 range. So I think they got a good bargain on that, and that's kind of why they're hanging out in second at the moment.
Yeah. It's sometimes it is important to kind of spread your, I guess, spread the portfolio, however you want to say that, like diversify your movie choices. But sometimes you just got to go big or go home.
Well, no one ever did bad owning a Marvel movie. And the interesting thing about Captain Marvel is it's the 6th highest grossing movie in the MCU, but above it are 4 Avengers movies and Black Panther. So, you can argue that's a really strong performance for a Marvel movie, and they only paid $31 for it. So kudos to them. I'm going to skip a couple here. Us, another great purchase by Hakuna Matata, $174 million for the horror film from Jordan Peele. They only paid $19 for it. A solid purchase there. That's going to end up being one of the higher movies of this summer, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another breakout success. Definitely if I had some cash left over, that would be one to look at.
It's hard because it was only the 3rd movie in the draft, and I think people were still trying to figure out their strategies a bit. And I think one lesson I would encourage people to learn as we move into the winter draft is don't be afraid to buy movies early. I think that's why you get Captain Marvel at 31 and Us at 19. I think you always find better values in the first couple movies because people are waiting to spend their money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some people try to play it a little too conservative. And they try to hold it too close to their vests.
If you run out of if you run out of auction money a third of the way in, and you bought the right movies, you can win. That's okay.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being aggressive. That's for sure.
If you could put it this way, you could have bought in our draft Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame, spent under $100, and blown everybody out of the water.
Right. Well, that's just it. It's you have to be strategic when you're purchasing these movies and really think about your strategy before you go in.
Yep. Up after that, Dumbo, $112 million, bought by the Mystery Team for $11, a solid value for them. But let's talk about the Disney live-action adaptations. 3 of them this summer. Aladdin just came out in its opening 4-day weekend because it was Memorial Day. It also did 112, so it'll outgross Dumbo in the following weeks, probably settling in the 150 to 200 range. It is, at this moment, the 7th highest grossing Disney live-action remake, and way down on the list. Both movies did not do well comparatively with the other live-action remakes, Matt. And we have The Lion King coming later in the summer. Any thoughts on these?
I did not see any of the Disney remakes, nor do I really plan on seeing any of them. I didn't incorporate them into my strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was mainly because they are kind of competing against each other in a way where it's like it's hard to choose one because how many people are so devoted that they're going to go see I guess there are people out there that would go and take their kids right to every single one, but it's tough with kids movies. I think it's always tough with kids movies because yes, you get the double ticket because it's parent and child going to see this. Mm-hmm. But you also run the risk of it. I think that there's more of a risk of a total flop, especially when there are other kids' movies competing against them. And this seems to be a very heavy summer for that kind of movie. And I think there's going to be some oversaturation in the market.
Well, and I think, to be honest, these live-action movies, they straddle the line between kids' movies and adults' movies. Like, the animated version is so much more approachable than kids rather than this sort of visually darker CGI goop movies that they're putting out. They just put out today, I don't know if you saw them, they put out today the posters, the character posters for The Lion King. And it's a goddamn lion. It's just a lion. It's just a regular old lion. It's weird. I'm like, who wants that? Nobody wants that. And that's what's confusing to me is I don't know who these movies are for. Because I think if you're a diehard Aladdin fan, you've seen the movie 100 times. I don't know what the appeal is to go see this. If you're somebody who's never seen Aladdin, you'll probably just go watch the original.
Yeah. We're kind of entering like uncharted territory a little bit with these live action remakes of beloved children's cartoons. It's a little weird. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's not my Lion King, but it kind of is in a way. It's like that's okay. This is a representation. This is like a rendition of a beloved like kids movie, but I don't know if the modern audiences respond in the same way. I think that, like you said, I think they're better off just with the straight up animation.
Well, and I'm not anti-remake. I should be very clear. Ghostbusters, right? Whether you loved or you hated the reboot they did, it was different. The foundations were the same and the in-jokes were there, but it was a different movie. You can't make the exact same movie again and expect people to get excited about it. It was a novelty when Beauty and the Beast came out. People were already getting tired by the time these are coming out.
Yeah.
You know, The Jungle Book was a technological success. People were like, how do you do this? And by the time The Lion King comes out, it's like, oh, great, you did it again. Whoop-de-doo.
Right. Like we said before, it's oversaturation. It just seems like they're oversaturating their idea. But yeah, I mean, I guess another thing that they seem to do is they try to throw a lot of famous people in the movie, like
Yep.
name recognition. Name
Yep.
recognition is pretty big for these Disney movies.
Yep.
These Disney reboots, and I think they're hedging their bets on the parents being like, oh look, Elton John is in The Lion King. Well, he made this music,
Yeah,
but
Will Smith and Aladdin,
what's his name? Will
obviously.
Smith is in Aladdin, and
in a
Beyonce
movie with no
is in
other
The Lion
celebrities
King.
in it.
Yeah, it's name recognition.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's like that's where they're hedging their bets on the parents. Well, okay, well I'll be entertained because I'll get to see Will Smith play a genie, and I'll bring my kid to see it because it's a Disney movie, and we can go see it together. I think they're really banking on that, but I just don't think there's going to be as many people that are going to do that as they think.
I agree. And the thing that baffled me absolutely the most is that Dumbo and Aladdin will end up making more money, but not a ton more money. There was no promotion of Dumbo. And certainly not in the way Aladdin was promoted, which was everywhere. You could not escape. I was watching the damn NBA playoffs, and they had a commercial with Steph Curry where he finds a lamp.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Huge promotion.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
cross
it was
promotions.
everywhere. And Dumbo was nowhere. It was like they were trying to bury that movie, and it's ironic to me that they're going to make similar amounts of money.
Well, I think they were afraid with Dumbo, to be honest, because it's Tim Burton,
Oh, it's weird.
and it was a little weird, right? And he also made Alice in Wonderland, which was a failure, pretty much.
Well, but a huge commercial success.
Commercial, well, yeah, commercial success, but like, it's not a movie that a lot of people still talk about today, I think.
No, but it made more
Was it
than
really? Was it really a commercial success, Sean?
Can you believe it, Matt?
Why did
$334
it-
million domestic. It made more than Aladdin and Dumbo combined.
Why did it not seem that way?
You know what it was? That was when 3D first started, and everyone saw it in 3D, and that's why Avatar will always be the highest grossing movie ever. It's because it's that extra 3D money, that extra $3-4 a ticket.
The old carnival sale, the old carnival barker pitch.
Yep.
Okay,
And
come
this
see
was
it in 3D.
really, yeah. This movie they pushed the 3D hard because it was literally, I think, the
that
same year as
explains-
Avatar.
Yes, everybody was doing that. Oh God, that was awful.
Yep.
That was a dark time.
Oh my God! Remember, and they were post converting them, and they looked bad, and
God, everything was bad about them. What a horrible
goodness that
time.
isn't a thing anymore.
God, I love when people watch Avatar on like regular television,
On, like, cable?
Like,
Yeah.
this sucks. Like, just turn this off. Like, yeah.
The good news, Matt, they're making 5 more of them.
Yeah, I love that. It's gonna fail hard.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to
will
the
see.
Lion King.
Yeah.
And it'll be especially interesting because that is, the Mac Daddies, it's going to be nearly impossible for them to catch up. But if Lion King does 400 or 500, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it can. I mean, the highest grossing Disney live action film was Beauty and the Beast. It did 500, and I don't think it'll get even close.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I'm feeling pretty good sitting at first.
Well,
At the moment.
some other movies worth talking about here. Shazam, 138 million, brought by the mystery team for $12. Again, it didn't gross a lot, but they also didn't spend a lot on it. It is the lowest grossing movie in the DC extended universe. right behind Justice League, which was the second lowest. 138, not a great amount for that movie.
No.
Barely. They probably broke even on it, the studio, at that price.
Yeah.
And the only reason they were able to do that is because there really weren't any big stars in it. Zachary Levi maybe, but there really weren't any other big stars to pay. So the budget was probably under $100 million, but definitely not a good outcome for DC on that. Let's see, what other movies do we want to talk about? Detective Pikachu, $120 million.
Did you see Detective Pikachu?
I haven't seen any movies Have you seen any movies this summer?
Any of the ones on the list? I saw Endgame. You didn't see Endgame?
I did not see Endgame. I have not seen the last Marvel movie I saw was Black Panther. I haven't seen any since.
All right, then what? Then okay. I thought you had seen Infinity War. I was like, how can you go this long without seeing Endgame?
I'm tired on Marvel.
Okay, I mean that's fair. I to be honest, when I got out of Endgame, my initial reaction, which still sticks with me today, is that I'm done with Marvel. I was like, okay, I saw this. I fulfilled my obligation. Like now I can take a nice long break. I could be just like Thanos at the end of Infinity War and just chill out.
And that'll be fascinating to see how that impacts Spider-Man at the end of the summer.
Yeah, like I don't feel any pressure, especially since I'm fairly confident they'll all be on Netflix someday. Like,
well, they're all going to be on Disney Plus.
And Disney, yeah, when Disney Plus comes out, I'm not going to get Disney Plus. I don't care.
$5.99 a month, Matt.
Are you trying to sell me on do you have stock or something?
We talked about it on Don't Panic. It is an interesting idea that they're undercutting the competition on price. They're going to have a huge library of Marvel movies, Disney movie, Pixar movies, original TV programs. And at $5.99, it is an interesting.
It's a dream for parents. Let me tell you, if I were a parent, I would absolutely consider getting it. It is a steal at $5.99 a month.
Yep.
And you can control the content much better than you ever could on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
You have parental guides, but with Disney, there's no need for that. Everything on there is Disney owned and operated. You know it's going to be kid friendly. I think it's a great idea. I would, like I said, if I had kids, absolutely.
Oh, they'll make us
totally buy it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
$122 million. Solid for a movie not from. It's the second highest grossing video game adaptation of all time.
Yeah. I actually heard it was a decent movie. I haven't seen it yet, but it is on my list.
I haven't heard anything bad.
I want to get out there soon to see it. But yeah, I've actually heard some really positive things about Detective Pikachu.
Do you know the number one highest grossing video game adaptation movie of all time?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Yeah. It's okay to say you don't know something, Matt. That's how you learn.
Well, I'm going to guess it. I can't let it go.
I'll say right
at least get a guess.
I will say number 3 right below Detective Pikachu is the Angry Birds movie.
Oh God.
It's a video game movie. I don't make the rules.
Horrible movie. Wreck-It Ralph. Does that count?
No, because I think it has to be based on an existing franchise.
Oh, okay. So in other words, that the game came first, and then they made a movie. Okay. Yep.
I will also say Super Mario Brothers ranks 28th on this list.
Nice. Okay. That's number 1 in my heart.
Remember Max Payne?
Yeah. That's not number 1, is it?
No, but I just forgot that was a movie.
I do, and I remember the game. I think I got in trouble for renting that game, or my mom rented it and didn't know what it was
appropriate for children.
No, it was not.
It's a good game though.
It was pretty disturbing, but yeah, it was fun. Oh, okay, all right. Resident Evil.
That is a good guess, but no. Well, they've made like 8 Resident Evils. The best grossing Resident Evil is number 9 on this list.
It wasn't one of the Final Fantasy movies.
No. The other movies that aren't number 1, Mortal Kombat, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, Rampage, Assassin's Creed, Warcraft, remember Need for Speed?
Yeah.
With Aaron Paul?
Right.
The original Resident Evil is number 20 on this list. Street Fighter.
Give me the era.
It was released.
Game came out.
That the game or the movie?
The game.
90s.
This is a 90s era game.
Yeah.
So this is probably like Super Nintendo.
Late 90s.
Okay. Oh, late 90s. Okay.
The movie came out in 2001.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Was that a video game?
It was.
Well, it's
It
not
was
on
a
this
little-known
list.
video game.
They're not counting it, unfortunately.
Okay.
And this might have outgrossed it anyway.
All right.
We're taking very long on this.
I'm gonna have to give up. Here.
Oh, you're gonna be mad when you didn't guess it. Let me give you another clue. Female lead.
Oh, Tomb Raider.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider. 131 million. Released in 2001.
I was thinking the wrong platform. I was thinking Nintendo. No. She was Sony, so that was a PlayStation title. All right.
Yep. So there you go.
Okay.
Anyway, that was distracting.
That was a good movie. Did you ever see that with Angelina Jolie?
I've seen like bits and pieces of it.
It was good.
I've seen like bits and pieces.
I saw it in theaters for some reason, but it was a good movie. I thought it was all right, from what I remember.
The Angry Birds movie was fine. I did see that.
Yeah.
And I hear Assassin's Creed is like crazy. Like, not that it's good or bad. I've heard it's just weird.
I heard it was just straight up.
I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, what I heard, it's that all of the like Assassin's Creed action, like in the what's the machine? I'm so mad I can't remember this.
The Animus.
Thank you. The stuff in the Animus is super cool, but it's only like 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh.
And that's a lot of other dumb stuff.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I heard there was a fair amount of like techno babble.
Oh yeah.
Like scientists just
a lot of modern day stuff and
stupid things. And they try to do that a little bit in the beginning of the game, but that game gets so far up its own ass. And
Aliens.
You remember it. Yeah.
I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad about Aliens and Assassin's Creed.
I remember playing the end of Assassin's Creed 2 with you. Yes.
I was like screaming. I was so mad. Because in the first game, I'm like, hey, you know what? This is an interesting idea. You can go in your DNA to the past, and they're using it to find a lost thing. Like, all right, I can buy this. Like, it's weird, but I can buy it. And it's like, aliens? What is going on?
They go, and I wish I had filmed your reaction.
Still mad.
I guess that was like right before smartphones were a thing, but I would have loved to. You know, everybody's got reaction videos on YouTube. Sean's reaction to the end of AC2. When he finds out that there are aliens living under the Vatican.
What is going on with this game? All right. I guess we should, before we look at future movies and how the rest of summers go, any thoughts on Avengers Endgame, Matt? I mean, it is the second highest grossing domestic movie of all time behind Force Awakens, and it is the second highest all time worldwide behind Avatar, over 2.6 billion worldwide, and domestically over 800 million. Good purchase.
Thank you. That was going in. That was the idea that this was going to print money, and I think it did.
I think you've officially changed. You know, a lot of people say Steph Curry changed how basketball is played with the heavy use of the three and all this kind of stuff. I think, Matt, you have changed how the movie league is played, because when you look at Sarah, who won the previous summer after buying Infinity War, and you having likely won this year having bought Endgame. I think the league is going to change. I think you're going to see more $90 purchases on the big movie and people just going all in on the couple big movies.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah, I think it'll be fun to get when we get to the end and we're all like scrapping around with $5, $6 bets on the little side piece movies. Because those side piece movies really do some damage. They really could be the ones that put you over the edge. Yeah.
If there's a team that owns two movies, right, the big movie and some other small movie they picked up with their remaining dollars, that leaves a lot of other movies for teams to buy. So it will upend the balance. But Endgame at $67 is going to be a top 5 value in the league. That's crazy. When you got it for $67, I was like, that's an $80 movie. No problem. And at $67, this is what we'll preview the winter, but two big movies this winter, Frozen 2 and Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, those movies have got to go for $70, $80, because whoever owns one of those is going to win the league.
Yeah, you always have those kingpins that...
You know, but it's more so now than ever. When you look at the first year we did this league, which I won, I'm just saying, I don't think I owned...
attempt. Yeah,
I own the biggest grossing movie that summer was, I think, around $450 million, which was Finding Dory. This year we have an $800 million movie. You know, I mean, it's crazy when you think about it.
It is. It's the way the cookie crumbles.
We're going to be seeing a lot more blowouts, I think.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But if that gets to be the case, I mean, we've talked in the past about splitting movies. I mean, we've talked about, Avengers 1 and Avengers 2 when we split the box office 50-50 and you bid for 50% of the profits,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean,
We're not there yet.
here's what I think though. I think after this Star Wars movie, I'm gonna make a bold claim. I don't think we'll see for a while. I don't know how long, but for a little while, I don't think we'll see another blockbuster game upending movie quite like the Avengers and Star Wars phenomena.
I don't know about that. I'm going to challenge that because I'll point out one thing to you, which is Deadpool is a good example. That movie was a phenomenon, and it made a lot of money. I'll have to look up exactly how much.
Well, isn't that a Marvel movie?
It's based on a Marvel character, but it's owned by Fox.
Oh.
I mean, that did $363 million, which is nothing to sneeze at, and that kicked off a round of R-rated superhero movies and R-rated comedies coming back in, and nobody saw that coming. So I think there'll always be something. I agree with you. What is Marvel the future? Is Star Wars the future? I don't know, and I agree Star Wars has definitely taken a hit in the last couple years.
I think people are getting weary. They're getting weary of Star Wars.
And I don't think Rise of Skywalker will break any records, certainly, but there will always be another big thing on the horizon, some kind of big franchise. I mean, the Hunger Games movies made a ton of money, or at least the first one or two did. So there'll always be something coming. The question is, what's next? I don't know what that is.
Nor do I.
I don't even know if Frozen 2 is going to be a big success, to be honest, because there's a huge gap. The last one was like 4 years ago. It's a awfully big gap for a kids movie. We saw what happened with Lego Movie 2, where the first Lego movie was a huge success. And they're like, oh, man, the second one's going to be huge. And no one saw the second one.
Right. That was a bust.
I don't think it'll happen with Frozen, but it certainly could. So, I don't know. That's the question. What's next? What's the next MCU? What's the next? I don't know.
Time will tell. Maybe it could be Bond. Maybe Bond will resurface.
Bond is back. And this time he's different. Matt, let's spend a little bit of time before we wrap up talking about the upcoming movies of the summer. Some of the biggest ones still left to come out. You have a movie coming out this coming week. The following week. Dark Phoenix coming out in early June.
I know next to nothing about this movie.
They've done a staggeringly small amount of marketing for this movie. They are dumping this movie. They reshot. It was supposed to come out last year, and they had to reshoot the whole ending.
Why?
Because apparently the whole ending took place in space, and they thought it was too similar to Captain Marvel.
Okay.
So they reshot the whole ending to take place on Earth. This movie is being dumped. So I would not expect for you to make... This will be a $50 to $75 million movie.
Yeah.
I'll have to look and see what Apocalypse made, because Apocalypse was bad. Apocalypse did 155. The lowest in the X-Men series did 132. So you're probably in the 100, 120. I think it'll probably be the lowest in the X-Men franchise.
Yeah, they really. You're right. They have kind of dumped this movie. They haven't marketed it at all. So
not going to do much for you. We also have come A Secret Life of Pets 2, which will be interesting because Troopers really need that to do well if they want any chance of catching up with you. And the first Secret Life of Pets you had in our very first movie league, if you remember, and did very well. It did $368 million that summer, which is huge.
Yeah.
I don't think this new one will do quite that good, but who knows?
I will say that they're doing a considerable amount of marketing. I would say
those Illumination movies get a lot of attention.
They are promoting it quite well.
But
so
right now, Gooper Troopers is about $200 million behind you, and I think Secret Life of Pets 2 could definitely do $200 million. So the question is, what does Dark Phoenix do? And then Gooper Troopers also have Shaft. So I don't think this is a slam dunk for you at this point. I really don't.
No,
and Aladdin's got more money left in it too. Aladdin's going to put up another 30, 40.
I don't know. It could be close, but at this point, I think it would be an upset. I think it would be an upset to dethrone Mether.
But here, let me put it this way, right? I think the money you make on Dark Phoenix will be canceled out by what's left in Aladdin and they get from Shaft.
We're riding pure on Endgame.
I know, but then what I'm saying is, so all they have is Secret Life of Pets 2 to beat you. And they're $200 million behind. That movie can definitely make $200 million.
We'll have to wait and see.
So I agree. That would be
see.
a shocking conclusion. But you look at their lineup: Captain Marvel, John Wick 3, which did like I just had it in front of me here, which just did 107, which is pretty big. Aladdin, which did over 100. Secret Life of Pets 2, which is going to do great. And Shaft. I mean, they have a good lineup.
Got a good chance.
And also, I should point out Mystery Team, which, as I'm going through the rest of they have 3 movies left. They have Yesterday, which is kind of a question mark, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a question mark, and Fast and the Furious present Hobbs and Shaw, which is also a question mark, but you look at the Fast and the Furious franchise, and you're talking about, the last couple all did over $200 million. And they're not that far behind.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
A lot of big movies left. Men in Black International. Toy Story 4 is going to potentially be huge. Spider-Man, as we mentioned. Lion King, as we mentioned. It's certainly not over, Matt. That's for sure. You don't like me saying that.
Well, I still think we're in the end game.
You're feeling good.
I'm feeling it. Yeah. I have confidence. I'm pretty confident. I'm not saying it's locked and sealed, to mix two metaphors, but I think that we'll be fine. And we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, let me put it this way. I will give you one last stat before we wrap up. The last 3 leagues we did, winter and summer, every one of them had a winner with over $1 billion. You are not going to hit $1 billion. Zero chance. There's just not enough money left. You're not going to hit $1 billion. So that leaves a lot of other money out there for the other teams to have. So it's going to be close, no matter what happens. You just don't have enough money to blow them out. It is. It's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
And by the way,
when
I look at... No, I don't think anybody's really going to set a low record. Movie Ball maybe, to only have 64 at this point, but they've got Men in Black and Toy Story 4. So I don't know if they'll set a low record. But who knows? We'll be keeping you updated for the rest of the summer here on the program. And of course, you can get updated anytime at upfordebate.tv/movies. Get the full spreadsheet, see how all the movies are doing or how all the teams are doing. And of course, you can follow us at UpForDebateTV. We tweet out the score update every Monday. Matt, we're all caught up now.
We are. We've recapped with this recap episode of Up for Debate.
And now we're ready for the second half of 2019.
Yeah.
Big things are ahead.
Yeah, indeed. Big things.
Huge things.
Huge.
So folks are going to want to stick with us. Of course, UpForDebate.tv is our website. You can go there and get all the information, including where to subscribe to the show anywhere you get podcasts, the video version on YouTube. And of course, you can email us upfordebatetv@gmail.com. Whew, that does it for us. No more 2-hour episodes. We're keeping it short. I promise. We're not going to do that to you. It's not fair.
Some burnout. Yeah.
You have better things to do with your life than listen to us blather on for 2 hours. So we'll cut it short here. But on behalf of Matt, I'm Sean. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it as always. We'll see you next time for more great discussion on another Up for Debate.